Hello and welcome to Boomer Live once again, ladies and gentlemen. We are here back on the Boomer Live talking about India's Under 19 World Cup campaign. Obviously, we know the result did not go our way, but we are mighty proud of the boys once again, as we always are. I don't think there's any reason to bash the Under 19 boys. It isn't our senior team, and we would never go hard against them, which we'll talk about. But before we get into today's video, do not forget to check our app that is Boomer 11. I hope you have already installed it on your Google Play Store and Apple App Store. If you haven't, the link is down in the description. Get ready right now because there's a lot of cricket happening across the world. IL T20 is happening. I hope you are supporting your favorite franchise in the Emirates T20, and obviously Sandeep is supporting ADKR. But let's obviously, I hope you all are supporting different franchises across IL T20.
They are
SA20
going well for a
T20
change.
yeah, SA20 did got over yesterday, but India take on England from Thursday, and yeah, West Indies was Australia. T20 series is also going on, so you can play all of them on Boomer 11. If you haven't already downloaded, get it on your mobile right now. Download it, play a premium contest, play the predict and win feature as well. So there's all your opportunity to check it out. But let's get into today's video. I mean, the live stream rather. We'll have a chill stream talking about a lot of things. But start off with India lose yet another final against Australia, third one in last 1 year, three major ICC finals, three of them against Australia. Just want to change, it was not Rohit Sharma and Pat Cummins on the frame, it was Vibkin and Uday Saharan, but obviously an Australian captain holding the trophy at the end of the day. How does it feel, Sandeep? Is it just becoming a norm for us now?
Yeah, I think you it's a running joke among us, where Jerin and me we constantly say that you are obviously habituated with it because of the RCB fanboy thing. Because I was seeing some meme that now even Temba Bavuma has two SA T20 trophies under
Yeah,
Hyderabad. I mean the Hyderabad franchise, Sunrisers franchise, whereas RCB has none, and so does the Indian team in the last 10-11 years. If you just
yeah,
don't consider the under 19 World Cup, I think under 19 World Cup is the only aspect or the only field where we have won trophies consistently over the
yeah,
last decade or so. This was our fifth consecutive finals, and if I'm
yeah.
not wrong, we have gone on to win three out of the five. So this is the
We
second
won
one we
two out
lost.
of we have won, yeah, three out of the five. Yeah,
Three out of we
18,
lost against
20.
Bangladesh, and then we
We
lost
won two
against
out of the
Australia.
five, if I'm not wrong. 16, we lost. 18, we won. 20, we lost. 22, we
2
won.
we won, yeah,
24,
24.
we
Right, right,
lost.
right. Two out
So
of
we've
the
lost
five.
three
So
and we won two. But either ways,
exactly.
it still counts.
Either ways, but India under 19 team has been one of the most
We're still the
dominant
most
teams.
successful team.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
let's
the
keep
most
it to that.
successful team. I think you should give credit where credit is due. I think today the Australian under 19 boys, they had composure. They showed a lot more maturity and composure when you compare it with the Indian team. uh, I mean, the boys did not play too well today, and I think they would have India were very lucky to reach the finals first of all,
Yeah,
because the
agreed.
way South Africa were bowling in the semifinals, it was a surprise, a pleasant surprise, that we had the likes of Sachin Das and Uday Shaharan play the knock that they played to take us
Yeah,
through to the finals. But this was, I mean, it was writing on the wall. It was going to come one way or the other, especially after Australia reached the finals in some great fashion, beating Pakistan by 1 wicket. I think
yeah,
that was the turning point. They needed some 15, 16 runs to win. The Pakistani pacers were on a roll. They had picked up 2 wickets, but the Australian tailenders, they held their nerve. They took their
yeah.
team home. Even today, you saw a situation where Australia were some 180 for six,
Yeah, I just
187
have
for
that on
six.
the screen right now, the scorecard.
Exactly. And I
Just
think
looking
that
at it.
innings from Oliver Peak is
Yeah,
going to be the one that was the defining knock.
yeah, great.
I think Harjas Singh played a sublime knock as well, countering the Indian spinners who had been absolutely spectacular throughout the season, the likes of Murshid Khan.
I
Uh,
was very surprised that Australia dropped Tom Edward Campbell and they
yeah,
went in with Oliver Peak in this game because Tom Edward Campbell was one of the better players in this World Cup. If you look last game as well, handy 25 can ball off spin. To drop
right.
him was a big call for them. I mean, I thought he was one of the better performing players. If you ask Australia's top four players, Tom Edward Campbell was until unless there was an injury, they shouldn't have dropped him. But either ways, uh, the replacement they got stepped up and performed extremely well. And if you look, Harjas Singh, right? Harjas Singh, an Indian of origin from Punjab, went out there smashing India. Classic case of an Indian doing well against India. And he played a very important knock. If you look at 3 wickets which fell quickly, from there on, it was very important for Harjis and Ryan Hicks to build a partnership. Then Oliver Peak came and took
And
that score
honestly, I
over
feel
to
Harjit
50.
Singh is one player who was really, I mean, he averaged some 7 or 8 in this tournament prior to this game. But I feel if you see some of his dismissals, he was very, very unlucky. He was getting run out. He was given out on 1 or 2 occasions where he was not really happy with the decision. As we know, there is no DRS for the Under 19 World Cup, so there has been some howlers in this tournament as well. But overall, I think the quality of umpiring has been I mean, on par with with what we see in the ODI World Cup, which is not too good, but it's okay. But they did not
Yeah,
have the certain DRS. So I feel Harjit Singh is that player who was really uh, looking for a big score, and I think it was written on the cards. He was getting there. He had everything going on for him. Apart from the runs, I think he got run out on 2 occasions. The last game as well, he sacrificed his wicket for
yeah,
uh, Dixon, I guess, or
yeah,
Constant. I don't remember exactly Dixon or
yeah.
Con. But
I think it
what?
was wasn't it Harry Dixon who got
Yeah, yeah, it was Dixon. Right. So
Dixon?
I think he wasn't allowed to get a proper start, but from
Yeah.
whatever we saw, I think he played the spinners, really took the toll on the spinners. Three
Even if you
sixes on
look, no,
this
we just
spinners.
spoke about India was lucky to come to finals. Australia were extremely lucky to come to finals.
Right.
I mean, they had it tough against Pakistan, right? It was I thought Pakistan were extremely good on that day. They missed out by millimeters or margins because that's how close that game was. I mean, they also would be hard done with what happened. But Australia, that's what we talk about it. The mentality runs in the blood, right? I mean, we talk about the winning mentality, capturing those big moments, and Australians have done it so beautifully. I mean, I can point out at least 5 to 4 instances where Australia have gone on to do this time and time again, and they've been able to do it so successfully as well. But having said that, we have to talk about the India under 19 boys as well. I mean, it's unfair to bash them. I feel this match won't hold anything in their career. Even if they're a won, not won, I don't think this holds anything in their career because it's not going to be something which they're going to have them make their career by. I've always believed and I've always felt myself that a potential of a good under 19 team is not in when they win or not. It's about how many of these players go on to play for India. I mean, I'll give you a
Exactly. Just
classic
see the
example.
2018 camp or the
Exactly.
2020 campaign,
I'll
for
give you
example.
2012 example. Let's not even go
Yeah.
2018. 2012, excellent team, right? Unmuk Chand, Sandeep Sharma, Harpreet Singh, Baba in the Parjit,
Yeah.
Hanuma Vihari, yes, was part of it, but I didn't think he played any games. So these many guys, how many guys went on to play Ashok Maneria? How many guys went on to
Right.
play for India in that? Like one Sandeep Sharma
Right.
for a
Right.
game. That's it. So that's what I'm
Exactly.
trying to say.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
and
comes
if you
down to the
just
success.
compare it with the 2020 World Cup as well, India went on to lose to Bangladesh in the finals, but you have the likes of Ravi Bishnoi, Yashasvi Jaiswal who are really shining from that World
Yeah.
Cup. So I think the
Yeah.
performances, and I'm sure the likes of Soumya Pandey or Uday Shaharan
I
or a
think
Mushir Khan are going to get the call up
absolutely.
pretty soon. Yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure about Indian team, but I hope they make a good career. I mean, I was just giving example 2016 as well. 2016 India did not win that World Cup, but we had the best batch of guys coming from 2016. I'll give you Rishabh Pant, Ishan Kishan, Washington Sundar, Sarfraz Khan,
yeah.
Khalil Ahmed, Avesh Khan. I mean, if you look at those names, you're like, oh wow, how didn't these guys not win that final, right? So I don't think that success of an under 19 team is ever in winning the
Anyway,
World Cup.
ICC
It's about
tournaments are
how many guys
overrated.
go
I
on to.
think the real cricket is going to start next month,
Yeah.
and we'll have 2 months of real cricket, and we'll be back to ICC events, which are, I
I
think,
think this is what a lot
secondary
of players
to the
nowadays
IPL.
think as well. But we have Jaren on the show. Jaren, we were just talking about whether under 19 World Cup winning or not doesn't really matter. The success is basically on how many of these players transcend into the next level, how many of these players can go into the next level, play consistent domestic cricket, and make it to Indian team. That's where the success of this particular batch lies.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going through a graphic a couple of minutes back. That's probably that's the reason why I'm a little late. But it basically talks about the the rate at which the under 19 players from different countries go ahead and play for their senior team, and it showed that India approximately has had 20% of their players. Yeah, I think here's the one. So yeah, I mean, it says Bangladesh is the highest. They have 41% of their under 19 players go ahead and play for the senior team. I think that's also because of under 19 team being the main source, or the best talents always play for the under 19 team. But in case of countries like Australia, India, and England, there are obviously other players who probably missed out their ticket to these World Cups by just an inch or here or there. I'm sure there'll be a lot of players we've heard a lot of stories already from the previous years because they only come to our end the moment they make their big say in IPL or some other tournaments, or they start playing well in domestic tournaments. But in India, it's approximately 20%. But even then, obviously, we don't know a lot of under 19 stars who have really made it huge in India. And I think obviously the first name that comes to everyone's mind is Virat Kohli. You've got Ravindra Jadeja as well, who's made a big name for himself. Shubman Gill is obviously going through that, but then you've got a lot of other stories. You've got Prithvi Shaw, who was highly rated at a point in time where it was considered to be him who is going to be the best star coming out of that under 19 era. Before the under 19 as well, people spoke about Prithvi Shaw. I remember as a 13-year-old guy hearing about Prithvi Shaw being the next Sachin back then. And obviously, right after the under 9 World Cup, ICC themselves made a video about how Prithvi Shaw is going to be the next Sachin, but never panned out, unfortunately. So there are a lot of stories like this because under 19 to international cricket, there's a lot of scrutiny that comes along your way. You've gotten a stage for sure, but that also means you've been exposed. And in this era of analytics and where everyone goes through every inch and detail of your skill set, it's very difficult to continue to maintain that. And as a kid, I suppose you also get high expectations from yourself. You believe that things are going to be easier from here on out, but I still believe once you have played under 19 cricket, then that expectations has risen. But that also means the expectations. I mean, the kind of performance you need to keep doing is also higher. I think that's what brings up the pressure. But just to talk about this set, yeah, I think Sachin Das is definitely one guy who's impressed me a lot. I mean, I think against South Africa, there was this reel where the team was 3 down and him and Uday Saharan were batting together, and he played a couple of shots of I don't remember the fast bowler's name, but one of them was
It
a
was
straight
damn
drive.
good, right?
That reminded, yeah, it was damn good, and it reminded me of the other Sachin, the other Sachin number 10.
Sachin
It
baby.
was flawless. Yeah, Sachin baby. I think only an RCB fan will go to Sachin baby. Only an RCB fan will. We don't consider Sachin baby. We're considering Sachin Tendulkar. And I'm not saying the next Sachin or anything. I don't want to put that curse on him yet. But that straight drive reminded me of Sachin Tendulkar's straight drive.
No,
Talking
that's a
about
bit too
Sachin,
much,
maybe I
but
think he got
either
a
way,
century.
let's not. He wears number 10 and he's got Sachin in his jersey
Yeah.
name. Let's just
Yeah, and
not
also
put
I think
him
Sachin
and
maybe
Sachin on the
scored
same
a
pedestal already.
century in
But
the
Jaren is right.
ongoing match.
I mean, Jaren is right. He's got something about there's something about this guy. A couple of shots will really give you some bit of a look as to what this guy can be, right? You see a little bit of potential, but similarly, I personally think the biggest challenge for these guys is whether or not they can make it to the domestic teams. The hardest
Yeah.
challenge from here on for a lot of these under 19 players is to not even make it to India, but to make it to domestic teams. A lot of these players would be fighting their tooth and nail to get a chance in the domestic circuit. I think Mushir Khan has already played for Mumbai. I think he will be back in the Mumbai setup for the Ranji Trophy. But I hope likes of Soumya Pandey, he really makes it big. I'm very interested to see how Naman Tiwari and Raj Limbani goes
I think
about their
Molia is
way.
another player who has played some first class games. I was really disappointed with
Priyansh
the way
Mulia.
he went in this
Priyansh
tournament.
Mulia.
Yeah.
But I also felt today was a real test. The conditions were not something where these guys are grown playing in, right? It's more Australian, South African conditions where the ball is bouncing, seaming. I mean, you really needed good technique, and Australian ballers really exposed Pakistan and India with those limitations of
Yeah.
playing short ball, limitations of playing in bouncy wickets in these two matches. But
I think today
let's
you
talk
can
about some of the
just
players.
pinpoint and say if you have to talk about a turning point, I think Mushir Khan getting dismissed after getting set. I think the ball
Yeah.
kept a bit
But the
low,
ball,
and
that was
he
a
was
very
done well.
unlucky dismissal. But I just want
Yeah,
to talk
that was
about
an
two
unlucky
players.
dismissal.
We'll talk about Mushir Khan. We'll start with Arshan Kulkarni, right? Because he was one player who came into this World Cup with a lot of expectations. You mentioned Prithvi Shaw. Similarly, he scored a Maharashtra T20 League century, IPL contract under his belt. I think the only player in the under 19 team with an IPL contract is this guy, Arshan Kulkarni for
No, I
LSG.
think the
So,
wicketkeeper Arivali also has an IPL contract with CSK.
what does he?
Yeah,
I'm
I,
not sure
I
about
read
that.
in the papers that he was excited to
Okay.
play or meet
Okay,
his
but I
idol,
think Arshan
Mahendra
Kulkarni
Singh
already
Dhoni.
had a name for himself. He came in with a
Yeah,
bit bigger reputation. LSG got him, I think, at a bigger
right.
price as well. So Arshan Kulkarni was one. How did you make of him? Because I personally felt got talent is definitely there, but was exposed in multiple fronts, especially against high
I
quality
think
pace bowling.
I think totally. If you talk about his stats, I think he just has a century to show for it. In the 7 games that he has played, I think there's just a century and nothing else. probably another half century as well. And I think Adarsh Singh and Arshin Kulkarni are the two players that India were looking to bank on, because if you see the past record of the Indian under 19 team as well, we have relied heavily on the openers to give us a great start, be it a Yashasvi Jaiswal or the Prithvi Shaw combination, to get us off to a flyer. And that is something that was missing in this under 19 World Cup. Adarsh Singh is a player that took a lot of time to get in and then get going. Similar was the case with Arshin Kulkarni. I think he came in with a huge reputation of hitting those big shots, of getting runs quickly, but the start is something that India did not get. So I think Arshin Kulkarni still has a long, long way to go. It'll be interesting to see how he goes in the real tournament, IPL. But it was a lukewarm start for his tournament, to
Yeah,
say at the best.
I personally felt as well. But
Even
Jen, let's talk
talk
about
about
Mushir
Arsene
Khan
Kulkarni.
now.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to talk Mushir Khan, especially because I felt his success had come at number 5, number 4, and to put him in number 3 in two big games was not ideal. I don't think he's a number 3 player. I mean, maybe he's got the potential to play there, but why do you have to change his batting order? I still think under 19 cricket is experimental and whatnot, but I think if you want to really make use of Mushir Khan, bat him at number 5 because he's got a power game, right? He's got a very
Yeah.
similar game like Sarfraz. He's got a 360-degree game. He can ball a bit as well. So how do you make a Mushir Khan's future from here on? Because it's so interesting. It'll be so interesting to see how he goes about in the red ball format. Can he replicate what his brother has been doing for Mumbai? Or can he keep scoring this truckload of runs and break open Indian team in a middle order in the white ball format because he can ball as well?
I think he is a very unique find in Indian cricket, and I'll tell you why his chances of probably making into the Indian team is a lot higher because I think ever since a Yuvraj Singh and a Suresh Raina, we've not had players who are very good batters who can give you 3 to 4 overs a match, or you expect them to ball at least three
I think
overs
Mushir can
and
ball 10
score.
overs if you give him a
He
good
Yeah,
can
day.
ball 10 overs precisely. So we've never had a batter who can ball for a long time. I think Virendra Sehwag, Yuvraj Singh, all these lads were very much part timers, and this lad can be a proper batting all rounder. And India's not had batting all rounders in a while. And you look at Aiden Markram, you look at few of these lads in international cricket at this point in time. Travis Head, for instance, all these guys give such huge value. And more than bowling all rounders, I think at this point in time, there are a lot of bowling all rounders around, but batting all rounders is what we really, especially India, really needs. And
Yeah.
if he can, keep at least his batting at 100% and his bowling at maybe a 60-65 percentage, I think his chance of getting in the Indian team is high. Only player probably have to compete with is Tilak Verma, whose stocks have quite fallen down in the recent few series
Just
because
because he could roll his arm over and he could bat very mediocre. He was given a World Cup reserve squad selection, and he got a golden
yeah, that's
ticket.
not
I would like to
questionable.
say so.
That's how desperate India is for a batting all rounder. That even
also that's what you get if
pretty
you are picked up
average.
Indians.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah, tell me.
Mushir Khan gets selected for Mumbai Indians. To be very honest,
That would yeah.
I mean, he could, because at this point in time, you would have to say that that's how desperate
yeah,
they are. If you pointed about Tilak Verma is a very good example. Yeah, he was fast tracked into the Indian team because he was a batting all rounder who could give you. I don't think he can give you 3 overs. He can probably give you 2 overs at least, and you can probably just exchange the ends of a bowler by bringing him into the attack, and he can be that extra set of arms who can just roll over a little bit and maybe get you a wicket here and there. So that's my point. That's where I
but
feel, and
Jaren,
especially him being a
we've
left-hand
had
spinner.
players like this before in under-19 cricket, like Abhishek Sharma, Riyan Parag. These
Yeah,
guys all come of a
yeah,
very similar mold, but very few
exactly.
went
So
on to go to the next level with their talent.
that's where Abel I'm saying that he has to maintain his batting at 100%. He has to keep improving his batting. His batting has to be his main focus, and if he can contribute with the ball with at least 3 overs, we don't really want him to bowl 10 overs. If he can bowl 3 to 4 overs and bat, and especially in red ball cricket, I think more than white ball cricket, a bowling all rounder, I mean a batting all rounder who can ball spin is such a valuable asset for India because
I
especially if they
think
go overseas,
funny part is
they
going to
can.
be when Mushir makes his debut before Sarfraz in Test cricket.
I won't be surprised either because I feel Mushi was able to counter good express because I think this under 19 World Cup there were express pace bowlers who you
Yeah,
wouldn't say they were finished articles, but just look at this Australian team. They've got 4 fast bowlers, and that's very rare to see 4 fast bowlers who can clock it 135 plus at
they
that
can
age, ball
that in
decent
those
line and length
conditions as well.
in those conditions as well. That's I think that was India's undoing, to be very frank, because India never really got a chance to rest a chance to relax because there's always a fast bowler bowling from one end. And Australia only had 10 overs of spin. They did not have any more than that, and that's
And
perfect
that
for
ended, the
these
spinner ended
conditions.
up picking up 3 wickets. I think Macmillan picked up
I
three
think that's
wickets,
I
also
but
because of
think
the amount of pressure
this
created on
team
the
has
other end.
had struggles against a tall fast ball. I think going back to Asia Cup as well. I think India
Hmm.
did struggle against Zishan, that 6 foot 4 inch bowler from Pakistan, who really put India under so much of pressure, and Ubaid Shah as well. And talk about the semi-final, Mafaka had a had a very good game and lose as well. So India, this under 19 crop has had their struggle against quality pace, and some of them really look good. I think you mentioned Sachin Das and Uday Saharan. They both really look like they held their ground. But let's talk about Uday Saharan now, because I really want to talk about this guy. There's something really interesting about him. He's not your flamboyant player like a
Hmm.
Sachin Das or a Mushir Khan in this team, but he's someone who's temperamentally very strong, mentally very gritty. What do you make of Uday Saharan? His captaincy also was spot on for the last 6 games. I mean, let's give him some bit of let's not give him stick for this game, but he was really good in the first 6 games. Like Rohit Sharma was with India in the 10 games in the World Cup. Let's not talk about the final. Let's take it out. 10 games is what we talk about, or 6 games.
yeah, I think to start off with, I think you'll have to give kudos to Uday Shaharan for leading this side, especially how he kept his composure in the semi-final. Because it was really interesting to listen to the post-match conference or post-match interview where Sachin and Uday Shaharan said to take the game deep. And I think he had his mind was clear. He knew what he needed to do, apply himself and stay at the wicket, stay at the crease for a long period of time. And I think that was the key to success in the semifinals. That could have been the key to success in the finals as well. You saw Australia build up massive partnerships, or at least they had partnerships of 50 to 60 runs going. That second wicket partnership of close to 100 runs. Then you had a 60, 70 run partnership of the fourth wicket. And then finally, Oliver Peak decided to play with the tail. And I mean, that is something that India couldn't do. They lost early wickets and then they kept on losing wickets at regular intervals. The scoreboard pressure was getting to them. But overall, throughout this tournament, Uday Shaharan has been very, very calm, composed, and I think that is a quality that will take him very, very far. Uh, Given he is able to maintain this level of consistency with the bat. And yeah, I would agree with you, Abel, with the fact that Mushir Khan is a player that shouldn't be at number 3 for this side. I think a Molia or Uday Saharan are better bets at number 3 for India, for this Indian team. You can have a
Yeah,
Sachin Das and a Mushir Khan coming in at 5 and 6, and a Uday Saharan and Molia at number 3 and 4. And then that is why I think Molia was a player that was kept out of place, and he didn't really click in any of the games at number 5
yeah.
or number
Yeah.
6,
And
because
if you
he's
look
a
at
player that
Sachin Das
picks
as
up.
well, Sachin Das is an
Yeah,
opener, bona fide opener for under 19
right.
cricket and state cricket as well. So he has been batting at number 6 for this team. Today, batted number 5. I think with this team,
And
one
I
issue
think
which they
that
had was
that
they did
is
not have a
something that India
set
needed,
pattern,
the
right?
ammunition at the top. Sachin Das is that player who was giving India, could have given India great starts at the top. And I think the momentum was slipping through. We talk about
I mean,
momentum a lot.
I don't mind a player choosing to bat in middle order and doing well, because that's something which India has lacked, right? Adaptability and versatility. So, but I just felt there was a lot of chopping and changing within the tournament. Like a player bats at number 3 in a particular match, bats at number 5 in the next match. So that really did not go
No, that,
India's
that
way
I
when
think
this game.
India were experimenting right before the semifinals. They had one extra game, so they decided to get in
No, even
Sachin
in the
Das at the
semi-final,
top.
for that matter, Mushir Khan was number
Yeah.
4, number 3, Uday Saharan 4, Sachin just 6.
No, I
So there
think
was a lot
Mushir
of
Khan
issues like
batted at
this.
number 3 throughout the tournament, apart from that one game before the semifinals where they played against Nepal. I think that is one. That is
No,
the
Mushir
game
batted
where
at number 4, if I remember, when he scored those 200s.
is it? I feel
Yeah,
Uday
he batted
Saharan
number
batted
4.
at
He
number
was
4.
not number
Mushir came in
3.
at number
I'm
3.
pretty sure about that. Maybe check it out. Maybe you can maybe check that out. From what I remember, Mushir batted number 4, number 5 throughout this tournament. But either ways, we'll talk about that later. But let's talk about the ballers, right? Because we always are excited to see how the ballers come out. We spoke about Sachin Das in brief. Jaren really did say he kind of reminds him of Sachin Tendulkar himself. But Jaren, Raj Limbani is a very exciting prospect, I feel. I mean, he's got something. He's got the swing. He's got control. He's got decent pace. If you groom him, you reckon he can have a long career? Because often we see under 19 fast ballers really not make it big. I think the last under 19 fast baller who made it big was Khalil Ahmed. I
And
mean,
it was not
It's
very grand.
that definition of big doesn't really suit with me. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
no, Arshdeep Singh. I'll give you as a better example because
Arshdeep Singh
but
is
but
the
he did
one
not
who
play a
would
single
probably
game in the
change that.
2018 batch though. He barely played any game, so he was a reserve member. So the last under
Hmm.
19 player who made it
I
big,
think
but
the player
without playing under
that
19.
could have gone big was Shivam Mavi and Kamlesh Nagarkoti with the pace they
Yeah,
had in the 2018
yeah.
side. But
I
I
remember
think
this
injuries
whole
is a big concern for this under
segment on
19
them. I
batch.
think whenever ICC makes a segment on some of the players, they just turn out to be trash. I mean, they made this lightning segment with Paras Mamre and Shivam Mavi. But talk about him, Jaren. What do you make of this Raj Nimbani? Can he do it in the big stage? Can he convert? And also Naman Tiwari. Talk about them in combination because he's a left arm pacer as well.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I have to say one thing though that has really changed over the years is Indian fast bowlers have become a lot more confident, and that also comes from how the senior team is doing. I have to say these guys have got heart, and when they were playing against South Africans, that whole match, you felt like they were always trying to get over the batter, and they were always thinking about the game. It's something was really interesting, and I'll be very frank. I think it was good to see a left hand right hand combination in pace bowling for India after a long time. And I think again the same things. Yeah, when you look at a player, you have to always look at what's the USP, yeah, what's the unique selling point, and how that can help them in their career. And I think, as you rightly mentioned, the left arm fast bowler angle again. India has not produced a left arm fast bowler in a while, and even Zahir Khan was on his best day a left arm right fast medium, and he was not really a player who relied on pace as much as he relied on swing and guile to get his wickets. I think in this case, there are a lot more hit the wicket ballers, and that kind of really benefited India when it came to South Africa because South Africa, you would see that hit the deck ballers do a lot better than just purely swing ballers. Now, that's not to say there are exceptions. I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar was definitely one of those exceptions, but you see the reason why England usually does not do that great when it comes to some of the other countries is because in South Africa, you need to be hit the deck a little bit more. And I think that's where these two fast bowlers really come into picture. But I think the main issue able with Indian fast bowlers who do well in under 19 cricket is because the domestic circuit doesn't really take care of fast bowlers, and that's one huge issue that we have. Indian team in the previous generation never did that, never took care of their fast bowlers, but Virat Kohli changed that. I think we need to have a similar kind of revolution in the domestic cricket. You need to treat fast bowlers really well, and I think I remember watching hearing Ambati Rayudu talk about this, and he
Yeah.
said this very interesting point. He said fast bowlers and fast bowling all rounders are not taken care of by their state teams. They need to bowl extra overs in that heat. In
Yeah.
India, India is not a very responsive ground when it comes to fast bowling, and it gets worse when you're in the lower divisions of cricket
Hmm.
in Ranji in Syed Mushtaq Ali. The grounds are not really that great because they're not tailored as much or they're not worked
Yeah.
on as much, and that's fair because you don't have the kind of resources for state board that BCCI has for sure. And that kind of by the time they come to that level where they are in the Indian team, the skill set has increased, their bodies are spent, and then it's a struggle to really help. I think Hardik Pandya was fast tracked into the Indian team a lot more
Yeah.
compared to some of the other fast bowlers. So we need to
Yeah.
look after these fast bowlers
Mumbai
and
Indians.
sorry.
Mumbai Indians.
Yeah, I think Mumbai
I think
Indians is
be in
yeah,
Mumbai
yeah,
Indians to get
definitely.
that push, or be in the
Definitely, I
captain's
The
think
side.
Mumbai Indians really looks after their fast bowlers as well. If you
they
look,
do, they do.
they really have a better setup, and I think KKR also to an extent really looks after their fast because I tell you why.
Did
With
Kamlesh
Shivam Mavi and
Nagarkoti and
Nagarkoti, they held on to them for a long period of time, right?
yeah, they did.
Nagarkoti,
Both
Shivam
of them got
Mavi, and I
injured.
think even with Prasidh Krishna, I think Prasidh Krishna got
Yeah,
a shorter rope if you compare them with him with Mavi or
they were
Kamlesh
responsible
Nagarkoti.
enough not to release them, right? They knew
Yeah,
they were under 19 cricketers. They had no other option. Took care of them. They brought them back, gave them a good couple of seasons. They tried, tested, and then they had no option. They had to release them. That also happened in the mega auction. They did not have otherwise. I really thought they really took care of their fast bowlers, but unfortunately, their bodies do not do well. I think it also comes down to domestic cricket, as you mentioned. KKR can only do so much, right? They can't do out of their capability to go tell a UP or a Rajasthan that you can only play him for these many games. And that's why I really
right.
worry for a lot of these young fast bowlers. I hope they end up getting good IPL contracts. That's one way of taking care of them. Otherwise, they just get lost in the dark, I feel.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean these
and
guys
also I
were a
think I
little
just checked.
unlucky as
Mushir
well.
Khan was batting at number three. I think
Yeah,
apart
he
from
was
the
he was
game,
batting
it
at
was
number
good
three. I was
batting.
just going to clarify that he batted at number three with US, Ireland, and Bangladesh as well. You're right. So
Yeah,
he
so
was
I
batting at
think
number 10.
India were experimenting in the game against Nepal, and talking about this bowling attack, I think the one aspect where they really lacked was throughout this tournament was their wicket taking abilities. They were more of misers because the batters were really rotating around. If you see the scorecard of their game against Ireland or Nepal, they did not really dismiss the opposition. This is a bowling
Mhm.
team or a bowling department that should make a statement by picking up all 10 wickets rather than looking to allow them to play on the 50 play the 50 overs. And that is where one can feel that they are economical bowlers, they are misers, they don't give away too many
Yeah.
runs. But if you talk about wicket taking abilities, apart from a Raj Limbani and a Soumya Pandey, Naman Tiwari as well, if you take the attack on him, he can be effective at times. But I think Murugan Abhishek and Mushir Khan are more defensive bowlers. It
Yeah.
is fine if you're playing them as a part timer, or if they don't go on to complete their
Yeah.
quota of 10 overs. But otherwise, I feel that this bowling department did not have the lethal combination that some of the prior under 19 teams had to really dismiss the opposition all the time.
I
Yeah.
think another reason for that also is I just felt like this under 19 World Cup out of the previous ones. I think every edition that I have followed has always had a clear favorite. You know, someone you knew was going to win the tournament. Someone who was really overloaded with skill set. I think this under 19 World Cup there's a lot more parity in that sense. Like you had
Yeah.
a lot of teams who had some. I think Pakistan was a very good team. I think South Africa was definitely a very good team as well. Australia, I think all four semi-finalists, you felt like
Mm.
they are very good teams. Probably the best four ended up there. But even then, you felt like some of the other teams did have the
Yeah.
capability and had some of the stars who could really do well. So I think quality of opposition was also different. I think that the Prithvi Shaw under 19 World Cup, everyone knew India is going to win because those bowlers were absolutely unplayable and no one could really counter them. And we had players like that in South Africa as well, fast bowlers bowling at that pace in South Africa as well. But the Indian batters withstood that pressure. And I think the same goes for Pakistani batters as well against
Yeah.
Australian bowlers, Australian batters against Pakistani bowlers as well. So I think that's very good to see from the larger perspective of being a cricket fan that the under 19 World Cup was a lot more competitive this year. And in
Mm.
that sense, you
I
can't
think the
really put the
next
blame on the
generation is
bowlers.
going to be a lot more on equal footing rather than just
Correct,
seeing some
correct.
countries go about it.
But you
I
know, you
think
have to also
Bangladesh also had
consider,
a very good under 19 team. I think conditions
yeah,
did not really
yeah.
do their batters good. They really did well in the Asia Cup. I think they were the
And I
Asian Cup
think they were,
champions.
yeah, and also I think they were really, really close. They lost the game against Pakistan by 5 runs. Otherwise, it would
Yeah,
have been
5 runs. They would
Australia
have made it
versus
to the semi-finals as
Bangladesh
well.
semi-finals.
And
Yeah,
let's not forget, I think in the Asian Cup, UAE made it to the final of the Asia Cup. So that
Hmm.
was a very interesting part of it. I think a lot of
and
teams
also I
are
think
making
this
the
Bangladeshi under 19 side had the flair of the 2020 Bangladeshi side as well. The
yeah,
India
yeah,
versus
a lot of
Bangladesh game was
yeah. There was a
was
lot of
really,
And
worth
really.
you
explaining
know,
in that particular game.
just looking at the stats and how Bangladesh looks at its senior team, I think in the last few years they've really looked to fast track their under 19 starts, which means most of these guys might end up playing for their
Because you
respective
have the
national.
likes of Jerin. The reason for that is you have the likes of Shakib Al Hassan, Mushfiqur Rahim reaching the dusk of their career, twilight of their career, and now you
Mhm.
need players to
I
come
think
in and
Jaren put
fulfill
up a
the
very
shoes.
interesting point. The
Yeah,
best possible way for them to get the talents is under 19 cricket. I don't think
right.
they have the best domestic structure as well to get a
No, no.
lot of players like what
I
India
think
have,
Bangladesh
right?
have one of the most horrible domestic
Because
structures.
what happens in
Oh,
India is a lot
it's
of these players will now go after grind in domestic cricket for next 4 to 5 years to get a call up. Otherwise, get an IPL contract, make a name for themselves very quickly. For example, maybe
yeah.
Arshan Kulkarni, who had a very underwhelming under 19 World Cup, could be making it to Indian team very quicker
No,
than we all think.
even he's also had a very underwhelming Mushtaq Ali trophy. Just going over his Sai Mushtaq
Yeah.
Ali trophy, he's just going over his stats. He's gotten his averages, his bowling averages in 40s and their batting averages in 24. So that's pretty much the reverse of what you want from any player. So I think he's still not a finished product. He still has a long way to go. And
Do
I
you
think
guys
there's also
really
this
think our
thing.
under 19 players are really 19-year-old? I mean, that's a very good question. We can do some DNA testing. But Teju, I think we should.
Remember
One thing
Manjot Singh
I
Kalra?
was talking to one of the people who was into strength and conditioning and nutrition, and he had a very interesting point to say on genetics. So we as under 19 look a lot more younger, especially if you're from South. You look a lot more younger in comparison to a 19-year-old from the north of India and 19-year-old from Pakistan or Afghanistan because genetically you're much more grown and stronger. Similarly, a guy from Africa will look a lot more, fitter and stronger at the age of 19. So I think it's unfair to put a thing. I think age frauds do happen. Let's be honest about it. I don't think that 15-year-old guy is 15-year-old pacer is actually 15. I don't think at 15 you can ball at that pace and you can be 6 feet 2, 6'3" at 15. So that can be questionable. I bet he's under 19, but definitely not 15 for sure. Ali Raza is I'm talking about. He's a very good talent. He's got a lot of future ahead of him, but I question his age of 15. I think that's a bit too
I think in
much.
Pakistan
At least
has
make it
had a
believable.
history with age frauds. If you talk about the Afridis as well, Shaheen,
Yeah.
Shahid, then I mean
I think
they
India
never
had
look convincing guys.
Manjot Kalra, right? In the under-19 World Cup
Manjoot
final.
Singh Kalra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ali
Manjot
Raza,
Kalra.
yeah. Ali Raza, 15 years is a bit too much because I never looked 15. None of us were like that at 15, man. I mean,
If Ali
it's
Raza is
impossible for a
15, then I am
15-year-old to
also
look.
I think
Wait,
around
how many of
15,
you guys
16.
even had a mustache by the end of age of 15?
It's
I
not
never
about
had one.
mustache alone, Jaren. I don't think you can be that
I'm
strong
saying, I'm
enough to
saying, just look
ball
at
at
one
that
aspect.
pace at 15.
Yeah.
Forget everything. Just look at one aspect of it.
I
I
think
mean,
Shoaib Akhtar is going to differ from what Abel just said, because according to Shoaib Akhtar, by the time he came to, I mean, international cricket, he was already tired. His knees had already given up. So he was probably
Maybe,
bowling at 160,
guys,
165 at
maybe
the age
what
of
we're not
15.
considering is maybe what we're not considering in Pakistan, people are born at the age of 3 and not really at
Yeah.
1
And also, I
or
think
0.
Shahid Afridi, Teju talking about Shahid Afridi still being 18, I think that is an understatement. I think Shahid Afridi is 2 years younger than Shaheen Afridi, not 18, I think 2021.
Shaheen
Yeah,
is
he's still young.
23.
He's our age, guys. At least,
He's
I'm
our
sure.
age,
Shaheen
yeah.
is 23.
Yeah.
Interestingly, but it doesn't look though. But I can tell you, you might look older and stronger. I told you, but genetics is a major factor. But 15 is a bit too much. He could be still under 19 for sure, and he might look a little more stronger and taller than Indian boys out there. I think India, there were some guys who are not even muscularly. You don't grow that much in India as much as you do in some other countries. So
But
let's
let's
not put
talk about, I
points on.
think if you're talking about pace, I think you have to talk about Mofa, the tournament that he
Yeah,
has
I
had.
think that dude
Mafaka,
is
yeah.
destined for greatness for sure. I think he'll be in South African team in a couple of years. Piyush Chawla younger than Kohli. Yeah, that's still. I think it's still believable because he made
Yeah,
Indian team
because
very young
eh,
age.
also I think Piyush Chawla a lot has to do with his fitness. I think he
Fitness,
gets
yeah,
trolled because of his fitness.
true, true, true. But
The
Mafaka, yeah,
diet of Kohli
you
and
mentioned the
Chawla is
name.
not the same.
You mentioned him, Mafaka. I think
Yeah,
he will play for South Africa in the coming 3 to 4 years, 2 to 3 years at
right.
least. I think he comes from the Rabada school where Rabada really
Exactly.
Mm.
came up to under 19 World Cup and lit it up. This guy's got a lot of future. What do you guys think about him? Like, can he get a SA20 contract next year or an IPL contract at least?
For sure, I
Yeah,
think
I mean,
SA20 is a given.
yeah, yeah.
And with the pace and the way that he was going after the batters, and exactly the only player that came to my mind looking at him was Kagiso Rabada.
Mhm.
And I think he has a big future ahead of him, given that the board supports him and he has I mean the composure and the fitness and energy to play for the national team for a long period of time.
No,
I
I
think
mean,
I'll
I'll be
give another
frank.
name as
He
well.
looks like he does
Yeah, go
look
ahead.
like someone just control plus C Rabada and control plus V into the South African under 19 team. He looked
Yeah,
way better. I don't know if you guys followed the New Zealand versus South Africa series. He looked way better than any of the ballers on show in there. Those
yeah.
guys, Duan Olivier was balling at 125 kilometers per hour. And this lad was here tearing it up. I think he deserved a spot in that test team. And probably Duan and Olivier could have done age fraud and gotten in this one because
Samir
he was
Rizvi,
balling.
right?
I think he would have done a way better job balling at the likes of the New Zealand batters than balling at the under 19 players because then they wouldn't have lost it such a bad way. And I think he's already, if I'm not wrong, he's definitely, people are definitely talking about him. I won't be surprised if he gets that SC20 contract. I think these bunch of lads were a bit unlucky because for a while, under 19 World Cup always happened before the IPL auctions, the big, the top league auctions. But the KFC Big Bash draft was over by the time this happened.
Yeah,
I say 20 was over by the time this happened. IPL auctions are over by the time this has happened. So a lot of these guys would have ended up getting contracts if those things had happened later on.
correct. Samir Rizvi says Samir Rizvi is 3 years younger than me, man. Can't believe the guy is
And
like,
5 years younger than me.
yeah, but looks way older than, well, looks at least 10 years older than all of us. But yeah, CSK player, so expect him to be something of that sound. Either
Absolutely.
ways,
But he'll definitely have a cup before Virat Kohli does. So it's fine.
it doesn't matter,
Okay.
bro. Doesn't matter. I think he looks older than Virat Kohli at this point.
See,
No,
the very
will
fact that
Virat
you say a
Kohli?
cup doesn't matter, Abel, is the reason why you're an
No,
RCB fan and not a
will
CSK
Virat Kohli be
fan.
back to play the IPL? Will
That's
all
also a
his
question. We
issues
don't know
get
what's the
sorted?
scene. I hope he is.
Sandipani.
Yeah.
I
Sandipani,
hope
what are
he
you
is.
insinuating, Sandipani? Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Sandipani
it's
knows some
nothing. I
information from
mean,
the Virat Kohli household. See, Sandipani is a guy who has spy cams and stuff all around everyone. So
That
no, I
sounds
go
think
way
ahead.
more worse.
I think I
That
don't
sounds really
live to
bad.
see that day where Virat Kohli comes back, becomes the number one test batter in the world, and then we at least I check. I mean, call out his integrity, and then he will give out a post in Instagram stories saying actual supporters versus the congratulations, like what
We are
Bumrah
not
did.
big enough.
No.
We are
But
not big
it
enough,
was, I
Sandipani.
think
We don't
Bumrah, what he
get
did was right because when last 1 year, the trolls Bumrah had to go through was just ridiculous, man. Just calling him a polio baller, IPL bully. It's just unfair on
No, I
Bumrah
think
because
those trolls were a bit too much. But Bumrah playing the IPL and nothing else, that was something. But yeah, obviously,
No, I
let's
mean,
be honest,
it's
he
Indian
also a
players.
genuinely
fickle
had an injury,
nature.
right? It's
Yeah,
not
It's
like
also
he
yeah, yeah,
did
yeah,
come
fickle
for
genuine
18
nature
injury.
or stuff.
of. It's also
And
a
I'm
fickle
quite sure
nature of.
the likes of Hardik Pandya, Virat Kohli, they'll be back to play the real cricket IPL.
Maybe
I'm not
what?
Yes.
sure about the ICC tournaments after
Hardik
that,
Pandya is
but
what? I heard you say something. Did you say Hardik
I
Pandya
don't
is
think you
back?
should ever put Virat Kohli and Hardik Pandya in the same statement. It's a national crime to do that.
No, but I'll
I
say
think
one thing though,
I think
Indian
when
fans are
Hardik
very
Pandya
fickle.
no,
scores
but
80
ha-
international centuries,
it's
he can be given that leeway of
no,
taking
but
break at his own time.
also talking about Hardik Pandya, I think Hardik Pandya is still a player that you expect this from. Not with a player having scored 80 centuries. I know a lot of people are saying Kohli has never missed a series in 13 years in his entire career. It must be something very very serious. That is why he's missing a 5 match test series. But then you have to realize that this is the same player playing in his Ranji days, came into bat the day after his father passed away. And now he's playing for the Indian team
I think,
and he
let's be
decides to sit
honest,
for
I don't
next
think we
5 years.
should question his commitment at any point. I mean,
No.
I'm
I'm
he's
not
gonna
earned the
questioning his
right to get
commitment.
that.
I'm not
I mean,
questioning. Who am I to question his commitment? The guy has scored 80 centuries for the Indian
yeah,
team.
I don't think.
But
I think if you have scored 80 centuries, you deserve that one series off, and you deserve the World Cup.
obviously,
No, I think you have to
obviously,
also look at the situation about it. He's played a World Cup, which is a very heartbreaking one. He's given his all for a while now. And it's not like Virat Kohli is, I'm not speculating on it, but Virat Kohli did take a similar break in the Australia series as well, that
Yeah,
India won. So I think it's
I
fair.
think
You have to
there's
also
something
look.
very
but
serious.
all
I
I'm
mean,
saying
AB de
is this
Villiers
is a
said
very
that
very
his wife
important
was pregnant or
series.
something. We don't know
Yeah,
what's
so
the reason. We
yeah,
don't know the
That
health
was that was
status.
a that was
see,
a
I
very
Yeah, but
think
nice incident. I
obviously,
mean,
if she is
you tell
pregnant,
your friend, you tell your friend, "Kisi ko mat batana," and then
ha
your
ha.
friend does a whole
No,
YouTube
no.
live
See, if
to tell.
and he had to say
ABD
like,
Villiers
"ऐसा कुछ नहीं
speculated
है
or
भाई."
whatever ABD Villiers said, or if whatever ABD Villiers speculated is right, uh, then I feel that this is a series or a tournament that is very very important. This bilateral series is going to be very important for India's chances to qualify for the World Test Championship finals in 2025 because this is a home series that they
I
need to
don't
win.
think right now we should be sitting and talking. I think what we need Virat Kohli right now is for the T20 World Cup and the Australian series in the end of the year. I think these are the two marquee events for this year.
I think IPL. I think we need
I,
Virat Kohli for the
I
IPL.
mean,
No, that Abel only
if
needs.
Virat Kohli and
Definitely not.
Bumrah wants to take break in the IPL to focus on T20 World Cup, I don't care because
Damn, Isala
I mean,
also cup namde.
if RCB can win without Virat Kohli, I'll take it. But Teju asked
You you reckon?
who's the
I think
eldest
if
among you
RCB wins
guys.
without Virat Kohli, then it's
Yeah,
going to be like RCB is the Harry Kane of cricket. I mean, Virat Kohli is the Harry Kane of cricket.
yeah, possibly.
For those of you who don't know, Harry Kane is this player from England. He's a really good player. He's a captain of England football team. If I'm not wrong, Abel, or is it
His
Harry
favorite
Maguire?
player is Virat
Forget
Kohli.
it. Doesn't matter. But he's a friend of Virat Kohli as well. He played for this team, Tottenham Hotspurs.
I think it's
The
But
team
time.
wait.
lost
I don't think
everything.
it's unfair to put Virat Kohli and Harry
No,
Kane
we
because
have to say this.
Virat
I
Kohli has
mean,
won trophies. Virat Kohli
Yeah,
has won a
yeah,
World Cup,
Virat Kohli has.
Champions Trophy, and whatnot.
But
I don't
yeah.
but
think
then so has, yeah, I mean,
Harry
fair
Kane
enough. But
hasn't won a
then
single trophy in his entire career. There's a difference.
Virat
I
Kohli
think that
has won
argument is
three.
different.
Virat Kohli has won
anyway,
three
so
trophies. Abel, Under 19 World Cup, ODI World
yeah.
Cup, Champions Trophy.
But at least
But
this
yeah,
dude has
anyway,
nothing in
this
his
lad,
credentials. You're
this
comparing
lad
No, no,
goes
Virat
I'm
to
Kohli
not.
to
I'm
Harry
not talking
Kane.
about what Abel is saying or Jaren is saying. Sorry, but I mean, if you want RCB to win a IPL trophy, then I think it's high time you get in Temba Bavuma into the side. I think he's the lucky
Possibly.
charm
Lucky charm.
for
Lucky charm.
yeah.
You know what? Best part about RCB not winning a trophy is they had a player called Karan Sharma. Karan Sharma won an IPL without playing for Sunrise Hyderabad, without playing for Chennai Super
He's
Kings,
our primary leg
and
spinner,
then
man. Don't
he
make fun of him.
lost. Guess what? He was supposed to win his third title. He was playing for RCB.
He
Didn't
came
win
last
one.
year, right? Or did he come the year before that? Anyways,
A year
he
before
came
that.
year before that. Last 2 years he was not able to win. I hope he's a primary spinner this year.
I
So
think
Teju, are
he'll
you the
win if
eldest among
Karan
you
Sharma
guys?
sits on the bench.
So on the pedestrian, I think. Oh, I thought he was on the line. So I'm the youngest. Jaren Sandibani. Sandibani is our bhaiya, so we call him bhaiya.
Yeah, oldest.
Yes, Bhaiya Sandhya.
Yeah, so that's how it is. And before we end it, tomorrow we'll be back. Just letting you know, we'll be talking about India's squad. A happy news: KKR captain is dropped from the Indian team.
Another happy news: Virat Kohli decided to not play the remainder of the
What is
series as
worse,
well.
man?
But you have to
KKR
see
captain being
something.
dropped,
The
or at
KKR
least BCCI had
skipper
a mail stating personal reasons. There.
I
Virat
think
Kohli
no,
won't
no,
be
no. I
dropped like
think I
that,
think
man.
Virat
Shreyas
Kohli
Iyer is
has said
Shreyas Iyer was
Virat Kohli
about to
has
get dropped. Let me clarify. Shreyas Iyer was about to get dropped. Then he had some back issues, and now he's going to the NCA to get
No, no, no,
treatment
no,
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 no, no, no,
before
no,
no,
the
no.
no,
He's
IPL.
cleared
no,
for
no, no,
selection.
no, no,
He's
no, no.
cleared for
So
selection,
what
and he
happened
was
is his
dropped.
back issue was for a very minor period of this break really helped him, but the worst part for Shreyas Iyer is that back issue reoccurred. Like Sandipani mentioned,
Yeah,
if that back issue would not have come, at least he would have been in the consideration. But this
right.
time, so they have given him on him. There's a controversy. I'll let you know. It's a backdoor controversy. There was a tussle between Shreyas Iyer and Ajit Agarkar for Shreyas Iyer to go play domestic cricket, and
Yeah.
Shreyas Iyer went on to say that I am not well. And
Hmm.
next day, Shreyas Iyer turned up. So Ajit Agarkar told in that case we won't be considering for the Indian national team. And Shreyas Iyer turned up for the Mumbai game after giving him that threat. So what is happening is a lot of Indian players, it's a serious issue right now, including Ishan
Yeah,
Kishan, is
Ishan
not
Kishan.
going to
Yeah,
domestic cricket when being asked to go and play. So what these guys are doing is they're doing their private training. Ishan Kishan is training with
Yeah.
Kunal and Hardik out there in Baroda, the best training facility.
They are all
When he
trading
was
for
asked to
the
go,
real cricket. That is the IPL.
yeah, obviously, हार्दिक would have told him भाई तेरे को मिलेगा 14 गेम तू घंटा फर्क पड़ता है तू आईपीएल तू रणजी खेलेगा कि नहीं इंडियन टेस्ट टीम को
Yeah.
छोड़ तू मुंबई इंडियंस का कीपर है इस साल
Yeah.
life is set so 15 crore in the bag why does he have to go keep in the hot sun for Jharkhand and play for test cricket for India who cares when Rishabh
Exactly.
Pant comes this place is going to go anyways these poor guys like
yeah.
Upendra Yadav Dhruv Jurel all these guys Kumar Kushagra all these guys are like give them chance. These guys are all idiots, right? To go and keep and play India A cricket. And Dishan Kishan is a real deal. He goes and trains and plays 14
No,
IPL
what
games Indian
I,
name team.
I think in that way, I think Hardik Pandya is really sorted. He knows India anyway are not going to win any ICC tournaments. Go to the finals, semifinals, and then give the heartbreak to the entire nation.
Until today, until this month, actually, I was like, okay, IPL is good. But all of a sudden, this attitude from the players is really worrying me. Because if these players are going to take test cricket much more less seriously, then I think there's going to be a serious issue in Indian cricket in the coming years. If these guys just want to go out there, train privately, and Teju has what's up with Ishan. I mean, if you have bad company, I'm not saying Hardik and Kunal are bad company, but if you're going to go in with that mindset of not wanting to
I
play
think
test
that is
cricket,
exactly what you said, Emil.
No, I think even you have to
I
also
mean,
consider the fact that playing in the hot sun tans you and stuff, and it's not
I
easy
think
to
Teju,
add
there's
photo
so
shoot
many things
after.
wrong with what you said. My dressing room being weird. There's so many things wrong with that, bro. I mean, everything
I
is
mean,
still in MI. It's one family
like
at the end
have
of
you
the
ever
day.
guys have had that? Like, have you ever had that situation where there are
Did you
this
say
bunch of
situationship?
toppers. I said situation, not situationships
Mm-hmm.
are a different shift altogether. But you had a situation in your class where a bunch of toppers come together and they're like, "Hum banayenge team saath mein, hum banayenge group project," and then at the end of the day, all their egos come and clash together, and then
Mm.
basically the project turns out to be shit. I think that's where Mumbai Indians are headed to. As a CSK fan, I'm very happy. I really want some more fights. Maybe Bumrah and Surya should stage a coup. Half the MI team comes to CSK, and we get the sixth title. I'll be very glad.
Whatever reports we are hearing, MI is going to release Rohit, right? Even Mark Boucher has told it very clearly that this
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
last season's MI. So Rohit is out there in the
But that's
market,
such
and I
a
think
bad thing to do. You're going on a random podcast where I think that podcast itself is a very random one because the last week episode was Dean Elgar saying that Virat Kohli spat at him, and this episode was about
I mean,
being a very
that
cricketing.
podcast has gotten the most number of views for no reason. I mean, trust me, man. I mean, the most controversial
It's
podcast
just started,
in 2
Abel.
episodes.
It's
I
just
thought
started.
backstage with Boria was a real deal, but this dude has taken it away. But I thought,
Did you say
What's he
backstabbing with
doing?
Boria?
yeah, either ways. But Jaren, I bet Tala is gone to.
Thala is
gone
never
to-
going to be gone, bro. Thala is going to play
Tala
IPL.
is back. I saw his haircut.
I'm telling
I
you
think Tala
what,
is back
Teju,
with the long hair,
I
right,
am
for the
with
season.
Yeah. No, that's
Tala is
because
using
Tala is
Prime
actually.
Sports and all of those things.
Yeah.
Tala
Tala is
smoking
going
hookah
back
in
20
Dubai as well.
years. Tala is going
I
back
think we are
20
going
years.
to
Teju.
retire this channel before Thala retires.
Yeah,
I think that's a very good possibility.
Channel will be off. Tala
But yeah,
start please.
guys, you guys have to not worry. Tala is restarting his career. He's got the long hair.
Yeah.
He's associated with Prime Sports. It's 2008 again, guys, for Chennai Super Kings.
Bro, that guy.
Exactly.
So you know, Rajasthan is winning the final.
Indian Shahid Afridi. DAG.
I think
Cricket
I
is
think
a fun-
Rajasthan will definitely win the second title before RCB wins their first, for sure.
They had a chance. I really thought they were going to win the second title last year. But either ways, I don't think that's happening. And let's see.
And if you
hopefully
watch the
RCB
final, they had no chance.
RCB had one job to do. Why are we going to IPL, man? We just told before some time that we're not. This
You
is the
literally
issue.
had a screen sharing where you had IPL is coming. I think that's pretty much the theme of our podcast.
Yeah, I think because that is real cricket. I think we have no business talking about ICC tournaments right now because yeah,
The
exactly.
reason we
And
didn't
we go back
cover
to IPL.
the second
Previously,
test
we used to
match
go
is
back
also
to
because
Indian cricket.
we're not
But
covering
right
test
now,
matches anymore, right? We're only focusing on the white ball format, commercial deals, and the T20 cricket.
Virat
That's
Kohli
the-
is not covering test matches. Why should we?
Yeah, that's all. If Virat Kohli is not playing, we're not covering. So we are like broadcasters. No Virat Kohli, no money for marketing.
This
Sky
Star
Sports had to
Sports,
go
like,
undergo a loss because no Virat Kohli in the test, and they had to dare to
And I
take
think
out
Rohit
his
Sharma is
poster.
really
So,
feeling the
unfortunate.
pressure to give us memes every day. Otherwise, nobody is going to turn up for this test series. So Rohit Sharma decides to
Yeah.
abuse his players differently
Can
every
you
day.
repeat what he said? Garden mein ghumega tu?
No.
I think it's pretty
that
much.
is best left for the viewers.
I think Sandipani can't
Go ahead.
bring out the best of what he said. It has to be Rohit Sharma. Maybe one day when we get Rohit Sharma on this channel, we'll definitely ask him to repeat those.
I think we should start.
We'll also
I
ask
think
him
we
to talk about Mark Boucher.
I think we
Yeah.
should try and get these under 19 players into our podcast. More.
Yeah,
I
Sandipani,
think
you're
we
in
can come
South
now.
Africa.
I think we can get Mafaka on podcast. We'll get him on. We'll tell him we'll make him the big star.
Yeah.
And why don't we sign him up? Let's make him the brand ambassador. So Mafaka, when he becomes big, he's gonna. I hope they don't break Bumrah. I mean Hardik, if he's on a mission, he wants all the 11 players to be like him. So that's the whole point. The man is doing yoga and running. So I think that's about it. We have spoken enough of the world of cricket. Shamar Joseph has signed for LSG.
I think that is a very, very good sign
I think
for
good
Joseph.
for him. He was almost about to not win a cup, but now he has a chance. He has a
Yeah,
chance.
that dude was almost going to sign for RCB. Why? That's how close he was. From what
No, I think it was all master planned by RCB to sign in a possibly injury-prone player so they can go for a Shamar Joseph. But LSG came out of nowhere, just like how LSG came out of nowhere and became a rival of.
He wasn't playing. He was playing for the England Test squad, isn't it?
Yeah. He played the first
injured.
test.
He was injured like that. He got his injury like that.
Oh, not
Mark
surprised.
Wood, just like
Mark
Wood
Wood,
breaks
man. He
very
bought one
easily.
over, he gets
He's
injured.
a very
Yeah, Mark Wood
he's not-
is like Mitchell Stark. He is exactly like Mitchell Stark.
I don't
Ball
compare
to
Mitchell Stark and Mark Wood. Mitchell Stark.
No, I think
somewhere else.
Mark Wood is much more weaker than plywood. He breaks very easily.
Yeah.
You can't ball him for more than a test match. you know
I
those.
think he bought 10 overs at Test match, man. That's it. That's all he did.
I think he's more like tennis ball cricket bat than a season bat. He breaks very quickly.
But I
after a
hope the
test match.
taste of money and the glitters of money with the IPL does not prompt a Shamar Joseph to be like, okay, I'll also not play for Test cricket for West Indies anymore.
You
I'll
sound
go and
like
play
a
T20.
60-year-old cricket pundit right now of 1970s.
I mean, somebody has to age,
And
right?
fame doesn't
All these
break the
cricketers are not
youngsters.
aging.
Sandipani suddenly
Somebody has to age.
morphed into Sunil Gavaskar here. He's going to talk about how Mumbai cricketers are the
Tomorrow
best.
we'll be back, right? Talking about Test squad. We'll talk about a lot of players. We'll make a possible Test squad. We'll talk about Ravindra Jadeja controversy as well because that's what people want. Right? less about cricket, more about Ravindra Jadeja's relationship
I
with
think
father and
we're gonna talk
whatnot.
about which is better, choosing your wife over your father or
I
choosing
think that's a good debate.
a wife over
Choosing
cricket.
your family or your wife. Now, there's a debate open for
Yes.
I
tomorrow.
think
You
Kohli
guys
has
all
already
plug
answered
in.
that question.
No,
I don't
Kohli
know how to read
chose
Gujarati, but
Kohli
we'll
chose
use.
cricket.
Yeah, I think that's a good debate. I think that's how we can get the views. Wife
Yeah.
or father. So the
Podcast,
women
podcast.
and the family, everyone join in. That's the debate. India's test squad is just part of the podcast, but the main debate is on Ravindra Jadeja versus his father.
Are we
At
going to be
least
talking about Congress versus BJP as well, which is a very
no, we're not going to
important
politics
topic?
yet, just yet. I know that's one of the factors. We'll not go just yet, but we'll definitely put it's the ground for all this fights as well. So why has Mr. Ravindra Jadeja gone to the right when he could have gone to the center or when he could have gone to the
Yeah.
left? So that's what we're going to be talking about. So is Ravindra Jadeja right in taking the right, or he should have gone the other way? So that's the whole
Should his father have
debate.
left him for the left or?
All of you wear orange and white tomorrow. That's the
But I
color
think
scheme
whatever
for the day.
I think if whatever Jadeja's father said is true, then I feel that it's very
Sandhimani,
very sad.
Sandhimani will tell.
Sandhimani is going to go
Sandhimani is
into
going
the
to counsel us what is
I
family
think
and
Sandhimani
how to run a
tomorrow, Sandhimani
family
is
and
taking a
family
flight
counseling.
to Ahmedabad and then a bus or however you travel to Jamnagar. He's going to be reporting live from Jamnagar tomorrow as we get into the
Right.
podcast.
And someone has messaged us for something else also, right? They wanted some other hot controversial topic as well. Jaren.
Shreyas Iyer and Yuzi Chehel, but I think that is retired because KKR skipper has a back issue. Uh,
I
So
wonder where he
okay,
got it from.
that is on the
what?
next. That's on the next topic. Where did he get the
Yeah.
back issue from?
Yeah.
So that's another topic. So so that's about
No,
it from
I've
us.
always maintained my stance, guys. If Dhanashree takes interest in Test cricket, we
Why we
might
didn't
see
even
better
take the
performance.
name of a person? Why did you even go there? This guy
And
is
I'm just
worse,
saying
man. This
it'll
guy
be
is
good
worse than
for
anything
India,
we're doing.
man. She's a social media influencer. We need these young guys to come out and promote Test cricket.
Yeah, obviously. I
Yeah,
hope.
what else?
I
Why
hope
else
none
would
of
I
the
say?
Indian team is watching our podcast
Yeah,
because
I think
we
I
would.
I
saw
think if Indian
some
cricket is watching, we'll have a comment by Suryakumar Yadav, and which is a
I
very good
saw
thing for our
some
podcast.
clickbait title in YouTube the other day that why are actresses going after cricketers?
Why do you think? Summarize that for us, Sandhimani.
Yeah, I think that's for another podcast. We have made 3 episodes already. Next is Jadeja versus Mr. Jadeja. Then we
Jadeja
have
versus Mr.
Shreyas
Jadeja.
Iyer and Yuzvendra Chahal. And actress is going after cricketers. Next 3 podcast is set for the week. And
I mean,
15,
if we
that is
can do this
Nobody's going
long
to talk
enough,
about
guys,
Kohli missing 5 tests.
if we can
nobody.
do this
What's the
long enough,
point?
guys,
Okay.
maybe if we do this for the next 5 episodes, you guys can catch us on Aaj Tak and not on YouTube.
You took
And I
another
think by
channel's
the
name. You're
time we
not
are done
able to
covering the controversies, I
allegate
think the
on
real cricket will
people's
start.
channel. That's one thing we shouldn't be doing. Why just one particular channel? You could have told some tuck.
Chalo kal tak.
No, but I feel that by the time these controversies are over, we get over with all these controversies. I think the real cricket will start. IPL will start. Before that, we
Yeah,
have
we
the
have to
Women's
make a
Premier
bucket
League.
list for next 1 month, right? About what are the
Guys,
controversies we want to talk about.
I want to see a stump mic of Rohit Sharma and Hardik Pandya in the slips.
I won't be surprised if Rohit Sharma gets a hamstring injury before IPL and he misses the IPL. So
If I were Rohit
watch,
Sharma, I would have done
watch
that.
out for the Dharamshala test. It's going to reveal a lot of things. Rohit Sharma is going to dive. He's going to dislocate his shoulder. And that's where it's
No,
going to be very
bro, we have the T20 World Cup right after the IPL.
like he'll be back for T20 World Cup, but 2 months he'll have to take rest, no. So that's where it's gonna be very interesting. I think that's how it's gonna go on.
But I think Rohit Sharma is experienced enough to pop his shoulder right back in after a
Yeah,
match.
he's done
You
that.
think he's gonna
He could done that
have
one.
a shoulder injury, and then right after the IPL, he's gonna pop it back in, and he's gonna be
It
back.
was not as dramatic as we
I don't
saw
think
in the
Ritika
movie.
is creating controversies,
She's
but
reacting
definitely
to it.
Mark
I
Boucher
think
is.
that's not fair on. Yeah.
Ritika had to tell something out, right? Finally, I'm glad that she
Like,
did.
there is nothing wrong with what Ritika did because you can't be a coach or a mentor of a big IPL franchise and go about and talk, shit about your
You know
previous
what's
You're
funny
retiring.
is,
captain.
You're
you know
literally
what's
retiring
funny?
a
The
player
funny
on
thing
a
is,
podcast.
he's like Rohit Sharma was a very good captain, but he was not a good batter, so we removed him from captaincy. Like, what nonsense was that?
You have to consider that Mark Boucher was a very good keeper and not a very good
I
batter,
think
so he knows a thing
the
or two
time
about.
you remember
Mark
the
Boucher
time
has never handled any team well. If you look at
Yeah,
South
yeah.
African team, he
Right,
told
right.
Faf du Plessis not to be part of
And
it
also,
because
you remember the
of
time
I
that
think
physical
Mark Boucher
it
reasons.
was
got
the Mark
injured.
Boucher era where they had the most racial tensions in that team as
Yes,
well. This is
yes.
not me saying
Exactly.
anything,
Mark
but
Boucher
yeah.
Exactly.
has
And
never been
also,
a good coach, for all
I
that
think,
you know.
yeah, it was. You also remember the injury where Mark Boucher got injured, the career defining injury where he was hit on the eye with the bail. I think a part of the bail also went into his brain. That is
Oh,
that is what
I
sometimes
think
you get to hear all this
we have
controversial.
created more controversial snippets than any other podcast can in the last 19 minutes.
I think
Yeah,
The 19
I
only.
think
I have
we
to
can
thank
do one
guys.
thing. We can
Either
release
we're
all
gonna be
these
taken
snippets and
down.
shorts.
See, as I said earlier, either we're gonna be taken
Teju
down
has
or we're gonna
spoken the
get
truth
a
actually,
segment
but Teju, I think
very
we'll have a
soon.
podcast on this separately. Hardik
Yeah.
is a better captain than Rohit, so we'll talk about that later. Have a good night,
And
all.
Teju has pointed one thing out though. So I had done this thing where one of my
No, we
friends
don't talk
was
anymore, Jen. We'll talk tomorrow. We're done. We're done. 1 hour. We'll go
fair
into more
enough.
topics. We're on cycles right now.
Snippets. Take out the
Snippets.
snippets and post it on shorts.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
I want to see this
I
on
think
trending on Instagram Reels tomorrow about Dhanashri and UC and whatnot.
And all the controversial name dropping was done by Jaren.
Yeah. At least Jen is going to get a lot of follow requests tomorrow. Bye.
yeah.
Good night, all of you.
I'm gonna get a lot of comments on my posts on Instagram.